By the end of this video, you will have a complete animated coded website and an AI assistant which emails on your behalf to your client. And the best thing, you don't need to be a software developer in order to do that. This is the step-by-step masterclass for Claude Code, and you will also be connecting Zapier to power up your Claude Code with the 8,000 plus apps. So a super absolute beginner tutorial. You don't have to be a software developer for it. Now, before diving into the tutorial, I would like to ask you guys a question that if there was one app which you wanted to automate, which app would it be? Let me know in the comments below and I'll create a next tutorial for that app, automating that app which you mentioned in the comments. So without further ado, let's get into the screen for the Claude Code. So guys, before we proceed into the setup of Claude Code and Claude AI are two separate products of Anthropic. Claude AI is similar to ChatGPT or Gemini when you use it within the browser, but Claude Code works within the terminal, meaning you will be giving it complete access to the folders and files wherever you will access the Claude Code within the terminal. And Claude Code is a paid product of Anthropic, so there is no free tier of Claude Code. Claude Code is an agentic AI coding tool which works within your terminal, right? If any of this is not making sense, do not worry. It's a complete beginner tutorial. I'll give you guys a step-by-step process for every single thing, right? So that is the tier of Claude Code, meaning if you buy the subscription, these are the three options. It's $17, $100, and $200. So $17 will be $20 if it's billed monthly. That is something which you should know, that initially you will be starting with a $20 per month, but you can update to the max tier or max 20x tier if you have consumed all of the tokens. And with the basic tier, you will be consuming a lot of tokens very quickly. You will be burning a lot of tokens very quickly, so you'll have to update to the max tier. So let's get into the setup. So first thing which you will need to do is go to this link. You can simply Google Claude Code, which will take you to this landing page. And there you will have this command which you will need to add into your terminal. Now, if you're using Mac, I'm using Mac OS. And if you're using Windows, that's a similar command which you will see here. So all you have to do is just click on this copy to clipboard icon and then open your terminal in case when you are on Mac OS, or if you are on Windows, you will open Windows PowerShell, right? So let's make it a little bigger. I'm going to paste in the command and then hit enter. It's going to take few minutes to install the Claude Code in your terminal. Once you have the Claude Code installed, all you will need to do is just type in Claude to start the Claude in your terminal. So guys, I have installed it on my terminal, and now if I type in Claude in my terminal and hit enter, you can see that it's asking to do a quick safety check. Is this a project you create? Because when I hit enter on yes, I trust this folder, it's gonna have complete access to this folder, which is my main folder of my Mac. And if I hit enter, you can see that we have Claude running as of today when I'm creating this video. That is the latest Claude version 2.1, but it keeps on updating really frequently. So by the time you might be watching this video, it has already been updated. And if you are overwhelmed with this terminal thing, we can do that with the desktop app as well. But before we move into the desktop app, I would like to show you guys the commands which you can use on the different operating systems. So if you're using Mac, you can use this command, which I've already shown you guys. I added in my terminal and installed Claude Code. You can also do that with Windows PowerShell. So if you are on Windows operating system and you are on the latest version like Windows 11 or above that, you can use this PowerShell command by opening the PowerShell. Click on this copy to clipboard and then paste in that command and install Claude Code. And if you are an older version of Windows, you can also do that with command prompt, Windows CMD. So simply copy this command here, which is available in the documentation. I'm also going to leave this link in the description for the documentation. So if you want the documentation access, you can click the link in the description and directly go into the docs. And you can also get into the docs by clicking on this documentation icon. And once you have Claude running, you can do the code, or you can chat with it just like you would do that with ChatGPT. So if I say hi, it's going to respond back to me just like the ChatGPT or any other LLM application would do. You can see that it says, hi, how can I help you today? Right now, I can ask it to write code. It will not just give me the code in return. it will also create the file, and it will also run that file and test it and all of that kind of stuff. So it's pretty handy when you do that with terminal, because it has the access of read and write and creating the files by itself. Now, once you close this terminal and click on dominate, and if I now open the terminal, I will need to add in the command again in order to start the Claude. It's not going to keep running on itself. So I'll have to add in this command Claude in order to run the Claude. You can see that it's asking me again that if you trust this folder or not, right? Now, the other way around, if you don't want to do that with the terminal, you can also do that with the desktop application, and you can also install extension with the VS Code. If you don't know what is VS Code, it is the most famous IDE, integrated development environment, a coding environment where you can create code, when you can type out code in the beginner language, right? So if I go to Claude code link, you can see we can install it with this command, and we have option of desktop application. We can install extension in VS Code, which is a famous IDE. Similarly, JetBrains is another IDE, coding program, coding application where you basically code. And we have on the web as well. So they have added on the web, and now you can run it on the Slack as well. So if you're using Slack, you can directly run Claude code within the Slack. Now, if you click on the web, so this is the nicer version of Claude code, and it basically performs the task similar to the terminal, and you can collect your local folder, and also you can connect the GitHub repository. I've already connected the GitHub. So if I click on set select repo, you can see it's showing up all of the GitHub repository which I have in my GitHub account. If you don't know what is GitHub, GitHub is a free cloud platform built by Microsoft where you can host your code, where you can have your code available for public, and you can also create private repositories, meaning you can, just like you host your website, you can host your code in GitHub. And it also have a lot of functionality related to version controlling, meaning whenever you perform any code changes, it will give you a complete version history, that who did the change in what line, and it is really helpful. But this is not for the GitHub, it is for the Claude code. So I'm going to stay in the Claude code. In the Claude code web version, you can also check the limitation, that how many tokens you consumed in Claude. So if I hover over this here and zoom in, you can see that it's telling us the limit, 5-hour limit. So we cannot use Claude code unlimited. We cannot keep coding using Claude code because it has some limitation, and that's why we have multiple packages in Claude code. So we are on the basic tier and $20 per month, but you will be consuming all of the tokens present in this package really quickly. So you'll have to move on to the max. And if then you are using Claude code on a very big code base or a very big website or a very big project, you might have to move to the max tier as well. So these are some of the limitations with Claude code. You cannot keep coding unlimited with Claude code. There are some limitations, but it does work a lot faster as compared to the human. That's why everyone is nowadays using Claude code, and everyone is going crazy about the performance of the Claude code. Okay, so we checked the terminal version and we checked the browser version. Now I'm going to show you guys the desktop version. They also have the desktop version, meaning you don't have to open up the browser. You will just open an application in your desktop machine and it will run Claude. You just need to log in and authorize. So if you're on Windows, you can download, and you're on Mac, you can see on my screen here, we have this option to try Claude download, right? So you can download it from here. I already have it downloaded. I'm going to open it up by typing in Claude, and you can see that is the desktop app. And I wanted to show you guys a cool animation which I created, a 3D animation which I created with few prompts. It works within Claude and it looks awesome. So I'm going to scroll up and show you guys what I was able to create with Claude. And if I would do that manually, it would take me many days, and it did that within minutes. So you can see that how much productivity we can increase using these new latest AI tools. You can see that this is a 3D animation which is draggable as well, meaning I'm just clicking on that 3D box and moving that 3D box, right? So I'm planning to add that on my website, and I'll add the link in the description of my website as well. So if you want help with the Shopify SEO or any WordPress development related help, you can contact us via the link in the description. And in this desktop app of Claude, we have Cowork, which I'm going to cover later in this video. And we have this Claude Code, right? Here you can see that how many sessions I had with Claude Code, how many tokens I consumed, which model I used, how long I've been active in Claude Code, and that is the model breakdown that I used: Sonnet, Heku, Opus, all of these limitations and all of these graphs showing me that how many tokens and models I consumed. And again, if I hover over here, just like the browser version, you can see we have these limitations where I have currently consumed 0% of my 5-hour limit. I have 5% limit consumed for my weekly, and we also have Claude Design. That is the new tool which Claude added. So Claude is adding external tools and services like crazy. They're adding features like crazy, and we can easily connect Claude with multiple tools. So if I click on this here and then click on settings, you can see that we have connectors showing up here, where you can see that I've already connected GitHub. You can connect Slack, you can connect Gmail, you can connect Google Drive, Google Calendar, everything. But one problem with this process is that you'll have to connect all of your different tools separately. And with the Zapier MCP, which I'm going to show you guys how to connect, in Zapier MCP, you can connect securely all of the tools. Now let me show you guys the power of Zapier MCP and how it can help you automate a lot of tasks in your organization, or if you're a small business owner. So I'm going to click on Browse Connectors and then search for Zapier. By the way, I already have the account of Zapier. You can sign up completely for free. Link is in the description. Make sure to sign up to Zapier. So I'm going to click on Zapier and then click on Connect. I'm assuming you're already logged into your Zapier account. And once you're logged in, you will see a screen like this. I'm going to click on Allow. And here it has authorized the application, and now it's asking to open the Claude. I'm going to click on Open Claude. And here you can see that my Zapier is now connected, right? And let's say I had a call with the client and I manage the Google Sheet by the name of Sales Tracker, and I want Claude to give my client a discount, send an email via Gmail, and update that in Google Sheet Sales Tracker automatically within the Claude Code. So I don't need to send an email, write an email, compose an email, and then update the status of that email in that Google Sheet. That will happen all automatically. So that's the client meeting notes. That's the dummy email just for the demonstration purposes, right? And that was a client which I talked a few days back, and we had a discussion regarding Shopify store design for a coffee shop, right? And I gave my client $450 cost. It was a basic store where I gave this code. So now I want to follow up with my client and give her a 10% discount because she is a returning customer, right? Now what I'm going to do, because I've already connected Zapier MCP, I am going to go to Claude. Let's go back. And now I'm going to say that read these client notes. First, use Zapier to send a professional email. Now I'm going to attach these client notes. So let's click on Add Files and then add this file. I'm going to add client notes.txt. So I'm just saying read these client notes. First, use Zapier to send a professional email via Gmail to the client with the polite code, applying the discount. Then use the Zapier to add a new row to my Sales Tracker Google Sheet. Now notice I've already connected my Google Sheet and my Gmail email account with Zapier, so it can be accessed safely. I'm just gonna give this prompt to Claude and then hit enter. And let's see what it does. Okay, you can see that it's now composing the email, and that is the body of the email. Can you confirm I should send this email, also add to Sales Tracker? Now it's not just sending the email to the customer with all of this body, which looks really nice, right? And it knows that we are an official Shopify partner because it has all of the context of my previous conversation. I have 140K subscriber on my YouTube channel. Great. The email is ready to go. So I'm just going to say yes, go ahead, or just say yes. Okay, now it's asking me the permission to send the email. I'm going to say always allow. You can see that it's using Zapier MCP to send the email. Okay, email is now sent, and now it's adding the row to my sales tracker sheet. And I'm going to click on always allow. Okay, you can see that our email is sent and sales tracker sheet is also updated. So I'm going to open up the browser to see that. Let's open up the Gmail and open up the sheets to see if it's done. Okay, you can see that it is done. Address not found, obviously, because it was a test email which I added. Now you can see that email looks really nice with the table and all of the details. Thank you for coming back. Returning customers are basically royalty around here. I would love to help you design a beautiful Shopify store for your coffee shop. Here's your code. So all of that was done using Claude and Zapier MCP. I didn't have to manually go into Gmail, compose a new email and send an email. Also update that to sales tracker sheet. Okay, so let's open up sales tracker sheet. And you can see that Claude have added this entry. So it does all that stuff automatically using Zapier MCP, sending email and then updating it to Google Sheet. Now you can automate anything using Zapier MCP and Claude, and there are 8,000 plus tools available in Zapier MCP which you can use. Now I'm going to create a basic website, connect my GitHub account, and show you guys how to work with Claude and do some coding level tasks. I'm assuming you are a beginner, you don't know anything about Visual Studio Code, you don't know anything about Claude, so it's just a beginner level tutorial. Some of my audience are an expert level developer. It's not for you. It is for those who don't know what is Claude Code again, right? So I'm going to open my code editor. This is the Visual Studio Code, and that's how it looks when you open it up. I already have a folder created for Claude beginner tutorial. That is the built-in GitHub Copilot agent, which shows up. I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to use Claude Code, right? So let's click on extension. That's the icon for extension. You can see it shows the tooltip for extension. So I'm going to click here and then install Claude extension. And this is the Claude Code extension. You can see it says Anthropic. So I'm going to click on install. And our Claude Code extension is now installed, right? So that is our Claude Code extension. And now we will connect our GitHub account with Claude Code. Now, the reason why I'm connecting the GitHub account is that if Claude Code creates something which we don't want, we can simply revert it back because GitHub will show the complete revision history. So I'm going to connect GitHub with Claude Code first. And for that, you need to type in auth login. That's the command which you need to connect your GitHub account. I'm going to connect my GitHub account. This is the GitHub account which I've created for the testing purposes. There's just one repo. I'm going to create a new repository, meaning a new website, which will be in the repository of the GitHub. Okay, so let's close all these additional tabs because we don't need that any longer. Perfect. Now we just have these two tabs, and in the GitHub, first we will connect the Claude Code, and let's go to Visual Studio Code Editor and then type in auth login and hit enter. Okay, you can see that it's asking allow this bash command authenticate with GitHub CLI. I'm gonna say yes. Okay, now it's asking that we will need to use that in the command in the terminal, not in the extension. So what we will do, we will click on the top menu terminal and then click on new terminal. And from here, I'm going to type in auth login and then hit enter. So now it's asking where do you use GitHub? I'm going to say github.com and then hit enter. Perfect. Set HTTPS and then hit Y and then hit enter. Log in with a web browser, hit enter. Now it's asking to go to this URL where you have your GitHub account login and enter this code. So I'm going to copy this URL, go to my browser where I have github.com already logged in, open a new tab, click on this, go to this URL, which is github.com/login.device. And here is the GitHub account which I want to log in. So I'm going to click on continue. And then add the authentication code which our terminal has given us. So let's go back to our code editor. You can see that is the code. So I'm going to copy this from here, go back to my browser, paste this code, and then click continue. Okay, you can see that we are now connected as WebSense Pro. Our GitHub account is now connected. Now I'm going to close this terminal and then start with a fresh chat. So click on this plus icon here. And then I'm going to create a basic website for a digital media agency and then upload that in the GitHub, right? So I'm going to give it a prompt. Please create a landing page for digital media agency and create a new repository in GitHub by the name of digital media agency test. Let's hit enter to see what it does. Now you can see that I do not have any files in the folder Claude beginner tutorial, and it detected that and see that it's saying that the directory is empty. Let me create the landing page files. Now it's creating the landing page files. Okay, you can see index.html, our landing page file is now ready to be published. And I'm going to click on this yes. You can also hit enter and then it's going to create this file here. Perfect. You can see that our index.html file is ready to go. Okay, we have some more code with the CSS for the styling purposes. Again, click on yes or hit enter. Okay, another file for the animation, which is the JavaScript file, I guess. Click on yes. Okay, you can see that we have our landing page ready. Now it is asking to add this to our GitHub and it's asking to run this command for uploading this to GitHub. I'm going to again click on hit enter or click yes. Okay, it's creating an initial commit. Again, click yes or hit enter. Hit enter again. Okay, everything is ready to go. Now in few seconds or a few minutes, we created a website, a landing page, which is also uploaded in GitHub. Now if I go to my GitHub account and let's go to GitHub. So that is the repository which was previously created. I'm going to refresh my browser. And you can see that we have this digital media agency test new repository created completely by Anthropic. So let's go to that repository. And here we have our website ready. Looks good, right? And we can now test it as well. So I'm also going to say, please run index.html, or you can simply say, please show me how the landing page looks. Hit enter and let's see what it does. Okay, it's now not opening it, but it's saying that directly run it from the browser. So that is the command which it gave. So let's copy this command and again open the terminal and paste in this command and then hit enter. Alternatively, you can directly open the index.html file as well. So if I open the folder, that's the index.html file. I double click on it and you can see that we have nice looking website ready to go with animations and with a lot of stuff on that landing page, right? And if you want to learn how to launch this website on your own domain completely for free, I have created a separate tutorial for that. let me know in the comments below by saying how to launch, and I'm gonna give you the tutorial link on the comment. So make sure to comment and let me know if you want me to show you guys how to launch the AI generated website. Okay guys, we now have built a basic website using Claude Code, right? And one thing I want to show you guys is that in the terminal, we can use Claude Code on multiple instances. So let's say I'm gonna delete all of these terminal and then open up the new terminals to show you guys what I mean by that. So if I open Claude here by typing out Claude, which is same as the terminal or command prompt in your operating system. Let's say we are generating a website on this instance. We can open up another instance by clicking on this plus sign and then again open Claude Code, and then Claude Code will work on both of the tasks simultaneously. So you can achieve a lot of work by using Claude Code like this, and it's super powerful. That's why it's so viral right now over the YouTube, and that's why I had to create this video as well. Also, one more thing I would like to tell you guys is that whenever you are creating a new project, let's say you created a new folder and now you want to create a website or a software or an application, there is an important thing which you need to understand for instruction. So a claude.md file is a file which is useful for generating code base or generating something which you want in your own style. So it's basically a file with instructions which will add an additional prompt to all of the prompts which you have. Let's say you're generating a website in a specific color scheme. In claude.md file, you will add that color scheme, the typography, in the style of the app which you want the app to be generated on. So you don't have to add in those instructions again and again in the prompt. And for that, you will need to run /init, which will create the claude.md file. So you will just type in /init and it will create the .md file. Now it's creating the claude.md file in my Claude beginner tutorial. Okay, you can see that we have our claude.md file created. I'm gonna hit enter as it wants us to hit enter to create that claude.md file. So I'm gonna hit enter. And you can see that we have this claude.md file created. So m.md meaning markdown, and it's basically a plain English where it will show that what type of code which we will be generating using Claude. So it gives this file provide guidance to Claude Code. So that's the overview. This is the static single page landing page for Nexus Digital. Again, you can change all of this instruction and save.md file. You can see that it gives all of the folder structure and all of the instructions. Now you can add your own custom instructions in claude.md file, and it's suggested to always create a claude.md file before creating anything. So you will have a clear picture of what you will be generating through Claude, and Claude will also have better context and better understanding of what you want to work on with the Claude. There are some other commands which you can use in the terminal or in the VS Code terminal. If you type in / you can see that it's showing all of the commands. These are some of the commands which I have added additionally: Shopify admin execution. So with Claude, we can directly create Shopify products, and we can do a lot of stuff within Shopify directly from Claude Code. I have created a separate video for that. I'm not going to cover that video on this tutorial because this is specifically for Claude user who haven't used Claude before, and it's a beginner level tutorial. So I'm not going to cover up these commands because these are the advanced level commands. This is /agents, meaning it is going to manage your Claude agent configuration, when it is working and how it is working on which stuff. And there are some other commands which I want to show you guys, which is this hooks. So whenever Claude is creating a new file, it is using a tool, which is a create file tool, and there are multiple tools. So if I type in tools, so I'm just saying it, please share list of tools you have available, right? And I'm gonna hit enter. And now it is going to list all of the tools available, meaning this Claude can run bash command. So these are the tools which Claude runs in order to create or run shell commands. This is for the read, when it wants to read files from the file system, edit, write. So all of these are tools. And we can add an additional hook before running any of the tool by adding the /hook command. So there's a complete documentation of how you can create hook. Again, if you want me to create an advanced level tutorial for Claude, I can do that as well. I have recently completed Claude certification from Anthropic and learned all of these technical jargons just to create more value on this beginner level tutorial, which I'm creating for you guys. Let me tell you guys some of the most basic commands which you will be needing with Claude Code. So number one is to change the model. If I type in /model and hit enter, you can see that we have these three models, which is Haiku 4.5, which will consume least amount of tokens, meaning you can use Haiku for your beginner level task. And if you need a little bit more complex task, you will go to Sonnet 4.6, which is best for everyday task, right? And again, it will eat all of your tokens in your subscription if you use Opus 4.7, which is the most capable model in the Claude Code, and it is going to 2x your usage as compared to Sonnet. So make sure to choose the model based on the complexity of the task. There's one more command which you should know. So I'm gonna hit escape and type in /help, where it's gonna show some of the important command like this one. So if you want to mention a file, you can simply type @ and mention the file for the better context if you want to ask questions about that specific file. Control O for output, and this one here if you want to add a new working directory. So simply type in /add-dir and it is going to create a new folder within Claude Code. And /batch is for research and plan a large scale change. So if you're trying to make a huge change and you wanted to first research and then execute it, you can type in /batch. That's it for this video, guys. There are some other things which I wanted to cover, but it is going to take a lot of time and multiple videos. I'm going to create a separate playlist for Claude and add a lot more videos related to Claude Code. So make sure to subscribe the channel if you want to learn more about Claude and all of the latest AI stuff. That's it for this video, guys. Until next video, have a great day.